Hello everyone and welcome to week number 4. We have now reached our halfway point. So this is the week where I like to take a step back and reflect on a few things that we've been working on. For some of us, it may have been plain sailing so far. For some of us, we may have had some road bumps along the way. For some of us, there might have actually been some roadblocks. So I like to start this week off just going over why we aim for better and not for perfect, and what consistency actually means and how consistent we need to be to see real change. So today we are going to cover why we aim for better, not perfect, why the ups and downs are normal and they're part of the process. Then we'll look at some tips for fat loss, what we can do outside of the kitchen and outside of our workouts to help us burn a few more calories. And then we'll finish with hydration, the importance of keeping hydrated, and then we'll set our habit around this. Why we aim for better, not for perfect. I love this little image and I think it sums it up quite nicely. There is no perfect person and there is no perfect road. The road to long-lasting change is never a straight one. When we embark on a fitness program or a diet plan, we always start with the expectation that we need to be perfect. But the truth is that perfection is just not attainable. So it doesn't matter how foolproof you think your plan is or how motivated or dedicated you are, there will always be obstacles that we need to get past. So sometimes you may need a bit of help with these. Sometimes you just need to work through them on your own and find your own solutions. So at this point, you may start to struggle with some of the habits or tasks. What I want to do today is reassure you that this is normal. Whether it was something in your kitchen clean out that didn't get removed, or if you think that you're still eating too much of something or not enough of something else. We need to address any barriers that you might have. So what is making it hard for you and how can you make it easier for yourself? You just have to be a bit pragmatic about this and focus on the good stuff. Look at improving what is already working well, especially if you're having trouble tackling something that is not working well yet. Don't focus on that. Focus on what is working well. Progress is progress wherever it comes from. The harder tasks will always be there down the road to work on. So just remember, change is an ongoing process that involves trial and error. So no one has all the answers. We're all in the same boat here, and my advice to you is to be open-minded and be honest with yourself. The most important thing here is to take action, and you'll only take action if you believe in what you're doing. So don't get disheartened if you had a bad day yesterday or if you had a bad week. The main thing is we focus on the positives. So it's all about mindset. Jump back on board and let's move forward. What does it really take to see change? So we know it takes consistency, but how much? I want to show you this because I think it will really help to show you why you shouldn't kick yourself if you think you've made a wrong decision or if you haven't been perfect, because the numbers here will speak volumes. Precision Nutrition have coached thousands of clients and they have shared some interesting data here. They've analysed data from 1,000 clients over a 12-month period, and they looked at consistency and the results that came along with it. So let's have a look. How consistent do you need to be to see measurable long-term change? And we have some interesting results here. So here we have a graph of body weight loss and inches lost from the waist of the clients. This is compared to how consistent they were with their habits. So as expected, the more consistent you are, the better the results will be. But here's the interesting part. Look at the difference between the last two columns in the graph. There's not that much difference at all. So let's have a look. The first group, the ones in pink, were compliant with their habits between 10 and 50% of the time. The second group in orange here were compliant between 50 and 80% of the time. The third group in green were compliant 80 to 90% of the time, and the final group in purple, they were the good ones, weren't they? They were compliant 90 to 100% of the time. So this data is taken from the PN program, where they set their clients tasks and habits just like we're doing, and they check in every day, and they check in with a yes or a no if they'd actually completed their habit the day before. So what the results tells us that the difference between, say, 80 and 100% compliance with habits is really quite minimal over 12 months. So what that tells us that even a 10% effort, you will get results. But I think we're all striving for a little bit more than 10%. Let's focus on the last two columns again, comparing the 80% to 100% compliance. If we look at the total body weight lost, there's 1% in it for the women and 2% for the men. That's really minimal. And also the inches lost from the waist, on average, a loss of 1 inch for the women and a loss of just half an inch for the men, if we're comparing 80% compliance to 100% compliance, which is we're looking at perfection here. So those numbers just tell us how minimal the difference is between 80% and 100%. Even the comparison of 70% to 100% is less than you might think in terms of long-term results. I'm not saying that we should never look to achieve 100% perfection, but certainly we don't need to think that this is where we need to be every day. So 100% compliancy could mean never eating cake, never staying up late, or never missing a workout. Sure, there'll be times when this level of discipline is warranted. Say we have a specific short-term goal that we're trying to get ready for. Maybe it might be a photo shoot or a holiday or a sporting event or something. But looking at this level as like a forever plan, it's not only unnecessary, but it's quite unhealthy for the majority of us. So what does 80% consistency look like? A couple of examples of what it could look like in practice. If we look at our protein habit, eating protein at every meal, what would 80% consistency look like with that habit? Let's have a look at this example. If you were to eat, say, 4 meals a day, over the course of the week, you'd eat 28 meals. So 80% of 28 meals is 22 meals. So that means you could consume 6 meals during the week with no protein, and you would still see measurable changes over the long term. And another example is 80% consistency with whole, minimally processed foods. So say you had 3 meals a day. Each meal accounts for a third of your daily intake. Say a half of 1 meal could be something from your eat some category or eat less foods, and you would still reach just over your 80% compliancy. So 80% seems to be the perfect target for most people. It's the 80-20 rule. What we like to say to our clients is eat whole, minimally processed foods 80% of the time. This is a reasonable and achievable target for results, and this gives us 20% of variety and freedom and flexibility with our diet. My final word before we move on to some fat loss tips is 100% perfection is just not needed in your nutrition choices. Your time is better spent reaching for 80%. And then you can focus more time on improving other areas of your lifestyle. Things like sleep and exercise and mental health. Other things are definitely not up to their 80% yet. Your time is better spent on those rather than trying to reach 100% perfection and then kicking yourself when it doesn't happen. Now let's look at some tips for fat loss. How to create a negative energy balance. So to lose weight, we need to create a calorie deficit, or what we call a negative energy balance. So this means that the energy you expend is greater than the energy you consume through like food and drink. Think of it like a bank account. So the more money you put in, the bigger the pot is going to grow, and when you take money out, the pot will become smaller. So there's transactions on both sides. What we need to do by the end of the day or by the end of the week, you want to make sure the transactions out are more than the transactions in. So we can do that a number of ways. Eat at regular intervals throughout the day. That was our habit last week, creating a consistent eating schedule. Then eat protein and vegetables with your meals. So we're already working on these two, and these are important. That's why they're at the top. So these are taken care of in your macro calculator. Your report will guide you on how much you should be eating right now. Increase your daily movement. So this is you moving around throughout the day. So walking, cleaning, cycling, playing with the kids, anything that you're doing outside of your normal workouts. So look to where you can move more. If you tend to sit most of the day, or if you're driving, when can you get up and go for a quick walk? You could go for a 15-20 minute walk before you sit down and have your lunch. When you go to the supermarket, park the furthest away from the door entrance, so you have to walk across the car park. There are many things that you can do. Just have a look at your daily routine and see where you can add just a bit more purposeful movement in there outside of your workouts. Build muscle with resistance training. So this is your strength training. Muscle is metabolically active, and the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you will burn each day. So even when you're asleep, you will be burning more calories than somebody who doesn't train, who doesn't do their resistance training. Drink 2 litres of water every day. It's very important to stay hydrated. And also while we're looking at losing body fat, because you can easily mistake thirst for hunger. We're actually going to cover hydration on the next page. And the next tip is sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. So it's really important to get a good night's sleep to reset your body. We will actually be covering sleep next week. So this is something that is hugely important, and we will be covering this. So make sure you get a good night's sleep. Stay consistent with your habits. Eat slowly until you are approximately 80% full. So this will help you avoid overeating. But what does 80% feel like? I describe it as you should be able to, after your meal, get up and take a brisk walk to the shop and back without having any indigestion issues. That is about 80% full. So you're satisfied, but you're not stuffed. And we will go into this and mindful eating in the next coming weeks. Hydration. So water is vitally important to the human body. The vast majority of us is made up of water. So water serves a number of different functions, and it carries stuff around the body. Our blood is mostly water. Most of our metabolic processes will only happen in solution. So it's essential that we keep ourselves well hydrated so our bodies can function properly. So a few things to look at here. Women hold about 45% to 50% of water on their bodies. Men hold about 50 to 60% of water. Water regulates our body temperature, it lubricates our tissues so that we can move more, and water helps to transport nutrients around the body. So it carries minerals and nutrients and other things in the blood. And water also dissolves substances like a protein, and that has to happen in order for our bodies to work properly. So we are made of water. So our blood is about 83% water. Muscle and tissue is about 75% water, and even bone is made up of water, 22%. So basically, all the cells and tissues of the body are made up of water, and we need water. Symptoms of dehydration. So what are the signs that you could be dehydrated? So you could experience thirst, headache is quite common, fatigue or weakness. Yes, I always start to feel tired when I need to drink something. You could feel nauseous, you could feel sicky. Muscle cramps do occur. A dry skin as well over time. A good way to check how hydrated you are is to actually look at the colour of your pee. So here is a colour chart. Obviously the darker the colour, the more dehydrated you are. So you want to be at the top there with your colour. If you are down to the middle, to the bottom, just drink more. I will actually post this chart onto the group so you can see it again. So another symptom of dehydration is bloating. If you're not hydrated enough, your body will hold on, it will retain water. So water is essential for life, and if you're not giving your body enough, it will hold on to what it has. So don't think that by drinking more water is going to make you more bloated. It won't, it will do the opposite. How much water do we need? So most adults need about 3 litres of water a day. So 1 litre will come from your food and 2 litres will come from drinking. So the considerations when you might need some more is if you're a larger adult, you may need slightly more than 2 litres of drinking each day. Exercise will dehydrate you, so you should be drinking a bit more when you're exercising. When it's warmer or if the weather is drier, you may need to drink some more. And when you're sick, if you're being sick, vomiting, or if you're experiencing diarrhea, you're losing water more. You're losing more water than you usually do. So yes, you will need to drink some more. Our habit number 4 is drink at least 2 litres of water a day, or 8 glasses. That's what I would like you to do for the next 7 days. If you do struggle to drink just plain water, here are a few ideas. Fruit infused water, so you can make this yourself. Just grab a jug, fill it full of water. You can chop up some cucumbers, some strawberries, anything you want to throw in just to flavour it up slightly. Or you can buy the pre-made, the tea bags, the cold tea bags. They're a good shout if you don't like just plain water. You can have herbal teas, decaffeinated tea, or coconut water if you like the taste. The idea is you're just trying to get more water in throughout the day. If you do struggle, you can even add a bit of squash to your water if you really don't like the taste of these, or just plain water. We're not going to class coffee in this. Coffee will not go towards your 2 litres of water per day. You can still drink your coffee, but I'm not going to encourage you to drink more coffee because it is a stimulant. It's not going to be good for any of us. That is our habit for the week. Drink at least 2 litres of water a day. So good luck with that, and I hope this talk has been helpful, especially if you found the last few days or the past week quite challenging. Know that 80% consistency is what we're looking for here, and enjoy that other 20%. So good luck with this, and I will be checking in with you guys in the week.